hope you're enjoying today's broadcast. So far, 2 rounds in, just finishing up at 285 pounds here in the quarterfinals. This Western Wisconsin video production, Chuck Rasmussen, Kirk Lair, and myself, Ken Manning, as we bring you this action here once again. And again, thanks to all the folks here in the Richland School District, Laura Selby, Athletic Director, and everyone. It's a lot of volunteers here, Kirk, and they just do a terrific job running this tournament. And, it's probably the second longest running tournament in the state.
Yeah, there's many ahead of it, I know that, because you go way back to before our era in high school.
Yep.
There's a fall down here in a wrestleback. This is our last championship match going on here in quarterfinal action, and that's Landon Knuth out there, and he trails right now to John Rogers, 2-1 in that match. A lot of injury or blood time, I think, is most of what's going on here.
It seemed to me there was a tournament up, and I don't, for the life of me, I want to say it was like Luxembourg Casco, and I don't know why I want to say that, but I thought it was somewhere up in the northern eastern side of the state. But
if you're going to pick one, that would be a good place to go.
Maybe that's a start. I don't know.
Because you got some, we were talking earlier today when you talk about Coleman up there, the years that goes back to where Coleman was a state champion back in the 40s and 50s and 60s,
Yep.
It just, the sport of wrestling has got a storied history, and in some schools more than others. And here in Southwest Wisconsin, like you say, the RC Invitational dates back there to some serious people, starting that tournament.
Yeah.
I thought I read the other day that could have been, I think it might be in one of our Hall of Fame honorees in the School Hall of Fame here, Dick Newman, that it was Vern Pieper that started this tournament way back then.
Oh, I thought it was Norse. That's what I thought.
It might have been, but I thought it was
one of the two.
But anyway, it started way back there, because both of them back in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Wasn't Norse Hattlestead before Vern?
I don't
No,
think so.
Vern was before him? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to read out here in the hallway. They're both in the hall.
There
of
you
Fame.
go. We'll check that out, right? Well, those two, I remember them, just Vern Pieper was the family, good friends with my mom and dad. And, yeah, that's just so neat with the wrestling families, how they combine and match up and get together.
Vern and his family came out here for many, many years and deer hunted out in the county or Boaz area up out County Trunk E there.
Really? I'll be darned.
Yeah, avidly out here.
2-1 score here with 30 seconds to go, trying to get a takedown, and they will. Baraboo now extends the lead to 5-1.
Yeah. Down on mat number 1, we're in consolation action. That's Toma at 120. Grayson Steen taking on Kellen Mumm from Iowa Grand Highland, 9-3 in that match. Lucas Christensen from Iowa Grand Highland, he's out here on mat number 2. He's taking on Jet Jilnick from Toma at 132 pounds. So we're going to fly through these weight classes pretty quick. So Chuck will catch up on that one. And down on mat number 4, we have Ollie Strasser at 126 taking on Cale Finch. Finch leading in that one 6-3 right now.
Well,
you had a final, right?
5-2 score here with that 285-pound match for the quarterfinals, guys, and it's Baraboo's John Rogers with the win, the number 4 seed moving on.
4 beats 5, which by the seeds you'd guess that to happen. Now we're going to be consolation on all 4 bouts, and we're going to catch up there, and then we'll get the big question of whether they're going to take a slight break before the semis. Slated here today, if you're watching, and if you still want to get out here, I would suggest come on out. Between the before the finals there, we're going to have the Hall of Fame induction. The Master of Ceremony just yelled at us from the radio booth up here. Mr. Fuzz McCauley is going to be the Master of Ceremony with Bill Twiney and a few others. I think I might even guess why he was asking if I was working or not, because he wants me to help him out. I might get to present jackets or.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see. I hope I don't have to do any talking because I do enough up here.
Well, that'd be neat helping him out.
But that'll happen during the break there. So if you want to come out and see that live, or again, I'll remind you, if you want to celebrate with the honorees, I know they're, especially Mr. Buck Fish said they're going to be out at Quail Run afterwards. You just had a fall there, though, didn't
Yeah,
you,
it's
Chuck?
Christensen from Iowa Grand Highland coming up with the fall in the second period. 32 seconds in that period.
We want to remind you we're still in a lot of really good wrestling action as these young men try to get themselves back and get into placement contention.
They win this round, they'll be in the top 8.
Yep.
And,
I don't know how far they're going to go down with awards, but
yeah,
we'll
I don't know, is it
see.
5?
It looks like it over there. At least maybe 5th place.
Score to 8.
Well, they scored to 8.
I think, yeah, score to 8, but maybe there's the top 5 are
for medalists.
Medalists,
It looks like it. They might. Who knows? It's placed in this tournament with 17. I believe there's 17 teams here. Yep. And we got to still have our history there, Mr. 20 passed down. We're gonna have to get through some of that. Some more history highlights there that we'll read. There's a final down there on mat number 1. And that is Grayston Steen from Toma as he beats Kellen Moe 15-5 in that bout down there. Mat number 3 now we have Calvin Marks from Hillsboro. Want to get his name out there as he takes on Wyatt McGuire at 120-pound action from Riverdale.
On mat number 2, I believe it's Aiden Bedward from Iowa Grand Highland. Senior wrestling against Jace Anderson from GVT.
Yeah, there you got it. Down on mat number 4, we have Ollie Strasser at 126 pounds from Holman. He takes on Cale Finch from Toma. So we kind of got you down here on mat number 1 now. We have Sam Timlin at 132 from Reedsburg taking on Tyler Maxwell from...
Finch picks up that win 9-3 and moves into the top 8. We'll wrestle in the Consolation semis a little bit later here. Well, today, guys, is the shortest day of the year.
Yeah, that's a reminder of that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. So, also probably the coldest so far.
Yeah, I had -8
Did you?
on the truck thermometer on the way up. A couple places on the river.
I must have been coming down a warm path because I had -2 on my car. A warm breeze.
Bedward with a takedown on mat number 2, leading now 6-0.
Down on mat number 4 now. We'll bring you up to date with that one because we have Brock Barrett out there at 132 pounds from Mercel Center. He takes on Andrew Pocken from Baraboo at a 132-pound wrestleback match. At number 1, we still have Maxwell from River Valley leading 3-1 over Timlin from Reedsburg at 132. Then we have Chuck's match at 138 going on mat number 2. And then we're still at 120 out here on mat number 3. Marks from Hillsboro losing right now 10-2 to Wyatt McGuire from Riverdale.
Yeah,
McGuire, go ahead, Chuck.
Just say, mat number 2, Bedworth with a 6-1 lead, a half minute remaining in the second period.
No score down there on mat 4.
No, between Barrett and Khan.
Of course, all these all these matches are 1 minute for the first period, being consolation. Sometimes it takes some guys a little more time to get their engine running.
Well, you still have, some wrestlers still trying to establish themselves in many cases here on varsity, and so it's a growing stage.
Yeah, we used to have that tournament at the end of the year that we used to run that 6-man round, or 6-person round robin.
Yep.
And we did instead of the 1-2-2s, we did 2-1-1s.
2-1-1. I remember that. Yes.
And, that took people a little bit to get used to it too.
It did.
That was always.
Go ahead.
That was always a nice tournament because it was a tournament that a lot of cases where, you had your varsity reserve wrestlers, but a lot of times have a wrestler who maybe missed out on some tournaments for the year come back and get some matches to get them warmed up for the conference and the regional tournament series.
Yeah, there was the one year where there was some ice outs like the week before that, and we had a huge number. But we also had quite a big number of state qualifiers that came out of that too. I like the way that we ran that, Ken. We did the junior, senior bracket, freshman, sophomore bracket, and we did it by weights, not by weight classes. And if you had a stud freshman, sophomore that you missed something, if you want to put them up with juniors and seniors, cool, that's great. That was well done.
Yeah, it was a nice job. That was well thought out on your part, Chuck.
Well,
down here on mat number 3 now, we have Jacob Milsna at 132. He's taking on Caden Mickelson from Cashton. So we got Cashton against Cashton. I wonder if they've wrestled before.
And maybe once or twice.
Yeah, then down on mat number 1 at 138, we have now Maverick Arneson from CFC taking on Sawyer Lindahl from Westby.
Down on mat 4, it's a 3-0 score. And I want to say it's Baraboo with the lead down there.
And it says Richland Center.
Oh, is it? Now it's 3-2.
Yeah, now it's 3-2 with the reversal.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Richland Center with the lead by 1.
There was first time I've 7-4 with 10 seconds remaining in this match here.
Mat 2 on that. Probably failed to mention this before. I probably should have. But with our 4-picture screen, that's the upper left is mat 1. Mat 2 is the upper right. 3 and 4, as you can see, are on the bottom left. And then we have all of our wonderful sponsors being shown on the lower right side.
Like you said, Bedward coming up with a win there, right, Chuck?
Yep, 7-4 I think was the final score.
Yeah, that's what I have on the computer here. 7-0 down on mat 1 with Arneson winning down there over Lindahl from Westby. Milsna against Mickelson here. Right now it's Mickelson with a 3-0 lead. And all tied up down there on mat number 4 as Ken keeps an eye on that one.
Nice takedown coming up here right to the bat, getting some points here now with the near fall.
A nice Saturday night ride in now if he can just hold it.
Baird of Richland Center, a sophomore, looking to try and move on. He's in good position if just make sure he doesn't give anything up here. He's in a spot to move on.
Chuck's just interested. He wants to get announcing this name on mat number 2 there.
All right. This is the young man from Toma, Peyton Smith, right?
Yep.
And he's wrestling against a young man from Holman.
Yep.
He's a senior. Fuxi
Yes.
Young.
There you go. He did a nice job of blurring that together.
Thank you.
Down on mat number 1, we want to get him out there. Blake Muller from Richland Center. He comes back out in consolation action. And he takes on a Richland County native in Derek Franzen from Ithaca Weston. No score yet there in the first period. As they said, 1-minute periods here. Final there. I believe Mickelson beat Milsna, right?
It was a pin. I don't know those two young men very well.
Okay. I was under the impression, and that's not an impression you want to use, that he was winning 5-0. So I thought maybe Mickelson came up with the win there.
Well, I think if he had the lead, yeah.
Yeah, that necessarily doesn't. Well, it'll show up here in a second in the upper part. So we'll get that in a second for you.
Boy, a big pinning combination on mat 2 here.
Yeah, that's Smith, and he's going to come up with a fall for Toma in the second period. 42 seconds in.
Was Mickelson with the fall at 2:40 there. We have a fall down there, and that would be for Barrett as he comes up with the fall.
Yeah, he's had the lead 12-5.
There was, oh, maybe it could have just been the final.
Maybe it was, okay.
It could have been, yeah. But anyway, he moves on in the consolation bracket. Now out here on mat number 3 at 144, we have Evan Johnson taking on Mason Bird from GET.
And on mat number 2, help me out again.
Well, we got to get here. The computer will have to help us out first.
Okay.
And it is Max Kelly from Iowa Grand Highland as he takes on Kobe DeYoung from GET.
Kelly with the first takedown, now coming up with some back points. This is mat number 2 in consolation match. Half a minute in.
On mat number 4 here, Kirk, did you get the update on who's out there right now?
We have Kyle Wazinger out there from Richland Center. He taking on Max Garreau from River Valley.
Thank you.
And right now, Kyle leads in that match. And I almost said 2-0, but I'll catch myself and say 3-0.
Kelly will lead 7-0 going into the second period. Consolation match at 144.
2-2 down there in mat number 1. Blake against Franzen from Ithaca Weston. They change points there back and forth they go. Right now, Blake getting himself a little bit of trouble as he tries to get a roll through. And Franzen catches him in that roll through, and he's in a really bad spot right now. Hopefully he can bridge long enough to get out of it. Tried to do a roll through there, and he just didn't have enough horsepower to get it through, and then ended up right on his back. So Franzen will come up with the fall there with 15 seconds to go in the second period, and or 5 seconds, excuse me. So he will move on in consolation, and Blake will regroup for the next tournament.
Kelly with a 10-1 lead, make it now 13-1, 13-2. Two. And Kelly will win this match by either pin or tech fall, and it's going to be a pin. 12 seconds remaining in the second period. This again, a consolation match in the 144-pound weight class. Consolation winners can come back and get 5th place.
Yeah, a little bit of a longer road for him, but
yeah,
still not too daunting of a task, I guess you could say.
No, and still quite an accomplishment too, as Kirk had said earlier too. If you can place in the top 5 here, you've done very well.
Well, in some of these weight classes, I would have to believe that even at 5th place, you can make the state tournament.
Yeah, you know, we've commented about that pretty much every year that we've done that.
Yep.
You get in the top 5, you're at least a sectional qualifier, or now a super regional, and then you get in the top 2, you get in the finals, your chances of being in the state tournament are very good.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of interesting matchups next week with the bi-state coming up as well. So Kyle Wassinger holding on to a 6-1 lead as they move into period number 3 now. On mat 3, Evan Johnson of Toma. He's got a cradle in. He's kind of going to put himself in a little bit of a tough spot. Now he rolls through over Mason Berg, who is trailing now. It's 11-8 Johnson of GET Melmin opponent. Looked like, was that a 3-0 win, was it? Over there for on mat 2 that you had, Chuck? Did you notice that?
It was
one?
a pin, I believe.
Oh, it was a pin. Okay.
Yeah. Help me out now, mat number 2 at 157. Who do we have?
This
Is
should
Friesen?
be. Yeah, this should be Joe Wetter.
Okay.
And you're right, Friesen. Yes.
All right. Aiden Friesen from Iowa Grand Highland. That's against Joe Wetter from Boscobel. This is on mat number 2.
Johnson.
Consolation match at 157.
Johnson will pick up the win on the mat 3. And we have, I'm waiting here, we got another Boscobel Wazeeka Steuben wrestler coming out, is out on the mat right now, presently at 150 pounds. We're waiting for the track wrestling to update on that one. And it's Josiah Komakzuski, the junior, taking on Harrison Davis. It's the Holman Reserves versus Boscobel. And just like that, a quick timeout with a blood issue.
On mat number 2, no score between Wetter and Friesen as they go to the second period. Friesen will take the down position to start this period.
(7-4) your score now on mat 4.
Good scramble here between Friesen and Wetter. They're working in the top position, got a cradle.
Yeah, pretty good half Nelson series, but time's going to run out on mat 3. Well, we got things knotted up at 7s here in overtime on mat 4 here, Kirk. So kind of an interesting one.
That's good.
River Valley came back from trailing 6-1 at one point.
I have to apologize for running away on you. When you get old and forgetful, I just remembered I left my cell phone in the seating room there, and I had to run. Luckily, they locked it up, so it was right where I left it.
That's good.
Helps to sit way back in the corner where nobody's looking. Final down there? Yep, it is a final.
Yeah, I think Christian Center got the win.
Yep, he did. 10-7 there is the final.
This consolation match at 157 between Wetter and Friesen, a good one. It was 0-0 yet with 45 seconds remaining in the second period.
Uh-oh, look out here,
Wetter,
though.
yeah. Look up in Oklahoma.
Should have had a final down there. I saw Garcia down there wrestling on mat number 1, but now on mat number 1 we have at 150 we have Skylar Honke from Reedsburg. He takes on Archer Carl from Westby on mat number 1. Still a good match on 2 there.
Carl Makzuski picks up the pin on mat 3.
I'm glad you wanted that name, Ken.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm close.
but he's going to see him again there. Down on mat number 4 now, we have Dominic Gallo from Baraboo at 144, taking on Colton Williams from Iowa Grand Highland, another freshman from that school.
Well, I'll tell you what, Williams going right after a cradle here.
Now we have on mat number 3 at 157, we have Chase McGuire. He takes on Lane Marshall from River Ridge.
47-second pin down there on mat 4, guys.
Okay.
1-0 going into the second, or to the third period. Friesen with the
Is that
lead.
Williams with the pin down there, right? From
Yes.
Grant Highland, yep.
Yes.
Then we had Wazinger and Garcia. He was a loser in his match from Richland Center there, as you saw earlier. He lost to Windsor from GT. So I heard him say something about after this round. Did you guys catch that or not?
No, I didn't. I didn't catch anything. Were they going to take a break then?
I didn't hear it well enough to help out here, but
Well, you'd almost think that they would.
I would think so too.
Because then you run your semis. That gives these guys a chance for a little bit of a rest, whatever, you know.
The officials need a rest too.
Yeah, exactly.
Table workers.
Yeah.
work the heck out of those officials.
Yeah.
I could talk smart sitting up here. Down on mat number 4 now, we have Alex Garcia at 157 pounds from River Valley. He's taking on Eric Hackney from Reedsburg, a junior. 0-0 in that bout right now.
Ooh, a
Might be
tight
a pin down here,
Yeah,
wasn't
pretty
it?
tight half Nelson series by Riverdale.
Chase McGuire comes up with the fall there. In the second period, that was a 0-0 match, and he turned him over and pinned him there. Just, that'd be 21 seconds into the second period. So a nice pin by him. Down on mat number 1, it's Honky from Reedsburg with a 4-2 lead, and then you got some update on scoring there, don't you, Chuck?
Yeah, it was Wetter with a reversal. He leads 2-1 with a half a minute remaining in the third period. Good match between Joe Wetter and Basketball and Aiden Friesen from Iowa Grand Highland.
Another River Valley wrestler stepping out here on mat number 3. We'll get his name in a second. Oh yeah, right. Who said that Belmont team might give them a run for their money? It's still early in the tournament, but Ken just noticed team scores here. Belmont right now 187, Iowa Grant 167, and GET 164. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You got a final though, right?
Yeah, it was 2-1. Wetter from Basketball will move on into the Consolation semifinals.
Okay, 175 on mat number 3. That's Drew Riddle, as we said, from River Valley. He's taking on Nathan Stoppelmore from CFC. Job is the one that is a little bit challenged with hearing, right? That's what I thought. I heard him talk in the seating meeting there a little bit.
Yep.
Just a very athletic young man. Down there you got that's a Richland Center wrestler out there now, I think. I believe that's going to be update here in just a second.
Schwam?
It's Dane Schwartz against Breyer Yelnick at 165. Get you in the right spot, Chuck.
Okay, 165.
165 we're at there. Still at 175. There's a slap of the mat down there on mat number 1, and that's the young man from Reedsburg comes up with a fall. He actually came from behind there. He was trailing 8-6 against Archer Carl, yep. There's another slap of the mat. That must be down on Ken's mat.
Yeah.
And that was the young man, Alex Garcia, coming up. No, wait, it was Reedsburg.
Reedsburg picked it up.
Yeah, that was Hackney from Reedsburg getting the fall down there. So Reedsburg getting a fall on both ends.
All right. Jelinek with a lead at 7-0 over Schwartz. Going to the second. Quick question for you also, and I don't know this answer. I think I do, but I don't. If you get to a 4 count for the near fall, and they had the cry rule, do they still have a cry rule? So you could give a 5-point then? Okay. All right. Thank you.
And you can have a 5-point near fall with that, plus tossing an illegal hold in there and get another point.
That's just a mess.
That would be for the wrestler that just was being pinned, right?
No, you could.
Oh yeah, you could go grab a headband.
Yeah, grab a headgear, or punch him in the face, or tell him he's your best friend.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to get it out, stop the match.
And whenever there's a stoppage, usually it's going to add a point to the near fall.
Yeah. Unless it be blood.
Blood by the pinning wrestler.
Down on mat 4, it's a 3-0 score here. Looks like River Valley, I believe?
You're going to have to let me update here in a second. Track wrestling is good, but they always want to toss you this other stuff. We have down there Reed Wobschall from Ithaca Weston taking on Caden Cass from Westby. That's why you wanted to get in that,
just
one stomping ground against another stomping ground.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. Yeah.
3-0 right now in favor of the young man Reed from Ithaca Weston. Now we're waiting for a Richland Center wrestler to come on the mat down there on mat number 1. So it looked like a first period fall down there for Honky finally pinned Carl from Reedsburg. So now we're waiting for
Jelinek will win this match by tech fall.
Tech fall.
15-0. Yeah.
And down there we have now Deacon on mat 1. Deacon McDonough, the freshman, taking on Ethan Bonedine from Richland Center at 175.
No lunch break till after the semis. I think that's what he just said.
Then he said a full half hour then. See, that's why you got to have some time in there to get the Hall of Fame ceremony in.
Do that right before the finals? You know, I'm surprised that, whatever works for him.
We were talking about time. I finally can tell time now. It's 12:30. I got plenty of time now. Kirk still has a cell phone.
There you go. Oh, we got a pin down on mat number 4.
Yep.
Ithaca Weston's going to pick up that one, it looks like.
Yes, it is. That'll be, how do you pronounce that? Reed?
Wobschall?
Sounds good to me.
I think Wobschall, that's how I would say it.
I would too. So now we're going to have Iowa Grant and Belmont Platteville down there on mat. That's a 190-pound bout. Well, maybe they haven't changed it yet, but look about that size. Ethan winning 3-0 there. Down on Chuck's mat, he's wanted me to help him update. He went from 165, Hugo Jean Louise Justal taking on, wow, we've got all kinds of names here. Mason Mernah Fleury from Holman.
All right.
Get all those names all spelled out on the back of a uniform.
Yeah, there you go.
Good luck.
0-0 in that match as Chuck keeps tabs on that. We have still Stoppelmore here on mat number 3. He's leading 8-5 in that 175-pound bout. Down there on Ken's match, we have Cam Moore at 190 from Belmont Platteville taking on Will Whitaker from Iowa Grant Highland. Senior against a junior down there. And that's what, 3-1 right now?
Yep. Just gave up, I think there was a penalty there or something.
Ethan Bodendine, he makes short work out there as he gets a pin in the second period in 49 seconds into the second period. So a minute 49, that pin there as he pins Deacon McDonough from Ithaca Weston.
A 12-5 win here on mat number 3, CFC over River Valley.
Yep, that was Stoppelmore over Riedel from River Valley.
No score on mat number 2 yet. We're into the second period between Fleury from Holman and Jean-Louis Just from Belmont Platteville.
The stall, isn't it?
I just have Just on my name.
Oh, yeah, there's an AL on the end. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
We'll give you that one.
Yeah, it's these guys running off the program. You already commented how to get all that name on singlet, but yeah, it's the same thing here as far as on the program.
Hats off to him, because I'm sure he's honoring quite a few family members there. Plus, he's from Belmont, and I have to go back down there, and I have to not get run out of town.
They'll see you coming.
Okay, now on mat number 1 down there, we have Ethan Berglund, another Westby native for Ken to keep track of. He takes on Michael Byron's from Richland Center at 2:15 we're up to now.
We got quite a move coming up here on mat number 4. It looked like the old guillotine, and then all of a sudden Whitaker lost it and wound up giving up some back points, a reversal and back points. He trails 8-3.
Yep. Cam Moore's another one of these that's come on really well for Belmont Platteville. You got action there though, didn't you, Chuck?
Yes, it was the flurry from Holman coming up with a fall over Justel from Belmont Platteville at 165.
Yep, so we complete that wrestleback round in that weight class. Now here on mat number 3, we have Blaine Walternath from Toma. He takes on Cal Pickering at 190 from GET. Right now, period ended. So right now it's Pickering out in front 3-2. So then we come back for Chuck again on mat number 2. We got Jed Larson at 2:15 from Holman taking on Tucker Degenhardt from Iowa Grand Highland. He'll bring us up to date on that one.
All right, just underway. Consolation match again, as Kirk said, at 2:15. 1-2-2 is the timing of these periods. There's a 2 takedown going to be awarded to Degenhardt as we go out of bounds. Excuse me, 3 takedown.
Nice catch by him, wasn't it, Ken?
Yeah, I was surprised that you guys didn't catch it faster.
No,
I was just checking.
We were just waiting for you to quit talking so we could jump in.
Oh, that happened before.
No, my friend, you had it right on the head.
Got a 10-3 score down on mat number 4 here yet. And
that's Whitaker's out in front now, 10-3.
10-6 now.
10-6 now? Okay. Nice thing to see down here is Chuck was talking earlier about officials. Got a young man from Baraboo who is doing some shadowing here with officials today, Aiden Eppright. In his day, I still remember him. He was quite a wrestler too. But I'll get back to Chuck here. He's got a final.
Yeah, it's Degenhardt with the pin in the 57 seconds. He'll move on. That was one of the things we haven't done yet too. And Kirk, this would be a job I think for you to just tell us who all the officials are here today.
I was trying to forget most of them.
Well, I know they said that about you too.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, they were happy to see me leave.
No, they weren't. We could use you back.
Down on mat number 1, we have Mike Nicolotti down there, one of the head signers in the state of Wisconsin. And then here on mat number 2, as we talked about River Ridge, we have Adam Guthrie from that area. Mat number 3, we have Mark Parrott out there. A lot of history with Reedsburg, Portage, in that area. Mat number 4 is Matt Boyer from the Baraboo area too. And then sitting down here on the chairs, we have Scott Brookman, who had 50 years of officiating last year, so he's in his 51st year here. And then Aiden Ebright next to him, he's just getting started, so you got 51 years against 1 year, so that's kind of cool. And then down here on mat number 2 sitting out, we have Lynn Eisensee from Sparta. So we got quite a crew here. When you add all those guys together, which when you act in coaching and officiating careers, you're easily well over, almost pushing probably 200.
We are starting now back into more wrestling. as far as not going to take a break at all until we get into the semifinals and consolation semifinals.